All right, guys, we're gonna talk about this OnlyFans woman who allegedly slept with 122 college students, men, and apparently almost 30 of them were virgins. Right? So she went on whatever podcast, and Andrew Wilson had to confront her. Let's get to it.
And this was through your OF?
Yeah, so like the boys that I sleep with, it's free.
It's free for them. You don't charge them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much? 200?
Yeah, 250,000
Okay. All right.
US dollars.
You wait. Hang on. You just film it so that other people can see it. Essentially, is that how you were making the money?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Cool. And then you said you slept with 32 18-year-old virgins, and you filmed that too?
Yeah.
I'm curious, like for the guys in the chat, is it, and maybe the girls can weigh in too, like is it a W to lose your virginity as a guy to a porn star? Like is that like a bragging? Do you think it's a bragging thing? Or?
Well, I think
Honestly, at 18 years old, most guys just want to get laid. Like they want to get their first time. They don't care. You know, if she's pretty enough, they don't really care. It's something they're going to talk to their friends about it. They don't really care.
personally, when people lose their virginity, it's usually terrible. Like
Yeah.
I gave them a very good experience.
A good sexual experience.
For sure. And not only that, like it was so relatable. Like, because the reason I started doing that in the first place is like when I started
You can hide
watching
in there.
porn, it wasn't relatable. Like I was like, when I have sex for the first time, it is not going to be nothing like that. Like they're professional people that do it all the time. So I was like, there's no better way to make it relatable than literally sleeping with virgins themselves, because everyone performs so differently. Like some people barely lasted 30 seconds. Some people went for quite a long time.
How do you confirm that they're virgins? You just ask them?
Yeah, like obviously there's no way of proving it. There's no,
Just like Scouts Honor?
they're pretty nervous, and I wouldn't say they're very good at knowing what to do and where things go. So
Okay.
Well, yeah. For many of them, it was probably their very first time with a prostitute, right? So that's and
If that's
that
what you
is your
wanna use.
prescription here, right? Your prescription is, according to you, that men should lose their virginity to prostitutes.
no, I'm not saying they should. They're contacting me. I'm not short of people to make videos with. My inbox is full of people begging.
Yeah, I mean, but do you think that it's virtuous to take a man's virginity? Like, would you recommend that men go to a prostitute so that they can get rid of their V card? Does that sound
The
like
amount,
it's very
like-
virtuous to you?
So after they've slept with me, they're confident, they're walking away, like they'll continue like asking for tips, messaging me. The next person they sleep with, they're going to be able to give that woman a good experience. If they sleep with someone that's also new to sex, they're both probably going to be walking away from that experience no better than what they was, and both shit at it.
Oh, what's your
I mean, as crazy as it sounds, I'm going to agree with her. And the reason why is because at the end of the day, 18-year-old guys don't really care. All they care is about getting their first time, getting laid for the first time. Now, if when you have a, I don't know, apparently allegedly prostitute, OnlyFans, sex worker, giving them a chance for free, I mean, I can't lie. Even when I was 18 years old, I can't lie. I'm not a saint. I probably would have taken the chance, because that's all. That's like the peak adolescent stage, right? That's what the boys are talking about. And now we live in a world where, at least when I came up, getting like access to porn and magazines was kind of tough. But now, Instagram, TikTok, everything, the porn is literally in their face, right? Because they have phones, so they can go to Pornhub and everything. So that's all they think about for the most part, right?
Sure, I
doing?
agree with
You're
that,
just-
but
You're
go
just
ahead.
building confidence in these kids.
For sure.
who are virgins.
Basically a
That's-
community worker at
Yeah, I
this
mean,
point.
you're really a saint when we get right down to it.
I am
mean, you
indeed.
were, willingly taking their virginity away so that you could build confidence in them, so that they could go out then and face the world having dick down a prostitute. Do you think do you think that they might have regret later? Do you think they might be like, oh man,
I've not
really
had
should
one
probably have
person.
not given up my virginity to an actual prostitute who then filmed it and showed it to other men? Like,
Okay, so now the filming, because she says all the men she slept with, she filmed it and then she sells it on her OnlyFans for other men to watch. Now, I still, I'm going to stick to the fact that, to what I said earlier, that most 18-year-old boys are not going to care that they're losing their virginity to a prostitute, right? All they care about is losing their virginity, right? But the only regret they may have in the future is the fact that they are on video with a porn star, a sex worker. Now that might be the issue. But even then, in that moment, they don't really care. Because she's going to be like, you're fucking me for free, no strings attached, but all I got to do is record the whole thing. Most guys are even probably going to be turned on by the fact that she wants to record the whole encounter. So maybe in the future they may regret the whole video thing, but I don't think they would regret losing their virginity to a sex worker. I don't think they care.
Do you think that was maybe like kind of low key,
the thing is, like,
an awful thing to do?
For sure, like, but my name is very much out there. It's not hidden what I do. They fully know when they sleep with me, it is to get posted.
Yeah, aren't we also talking about consenting adults? Like, they
sure.
agreed, they consented to sleep with
Yeah,
her.
so what if they
consented to be on
consented?
the
People
video.
can consent to all kinds of horrible things. Doesn't make it a good thing to do it. You can consent to take drugs, for instance. It doesn't mean it's a good thing to take drugs. You
We're
can consent
talking
to all
about
sorts of
adults who are
horrific,
making their own
awful
decisions,
things.
though.
And
What's that?
We're talking about adults who are making their own decisions, who are consenting.
Yeah, I know what we're talking about is adults making their own decisions. I just got done giving you my argument against that, which is that who cares? It doesn't matter because adults make horrible decisions all the time.
Well, consent to me
doesn't
is
matter
very
if they consent to it. Doesn't mean it's a good thing just because they consent to it.
But that's what their choice is. Some people like pink hair, some people like blue hair. It's down to a choice.
Yeah.
If they want to sleep with me, sleep with a prostitute, if you want to word it that way, that is their choice, and they can withdraw consent at any point, and it's made very clear
you
to
do
them.
agree that it's prostitution, right?
I mean, I don't know why people
there's
think
no
it's like
ifs,
a
ands,
bad
or buts
word.
about that.
It's I do
What's that?
OnlyFans. I'm an OnlyFans creator. If we want to call it prostitution, we can call it that. I don't care.
Is it?
So I kind of understand what Andrew is saying, that if the tables were turned, sure, they're giving consent, right? But if the tables were turned, and because guys, she slept with 122 men, 30 of them were 18-year-old virgin boys, right? Or men, for that matter, right? But if the tables were turned and it was a man doing what she's doing, he would be cancelled. But obviously she's not cancelled. And if the tables were turned and the man was doing what she is doing, they would call it sex trafficking because she's making money from the videos she made with those guys and them not making a cut. So it would be like you used the boys, you trafficked them, and you're making money off their sexuality.
I mean, I wouldn't say it is, but I'm not bothered. I'm
You
not
wouldn't say
phased
that
by the
having sex
title.
having sex with men for money is prostitution.
I don't really get obsessed
Grid One
with what we call
Motorsports
it.
donated $200. If a man dipped down this many women, he would be called a predator and likely be in prison for SA.
Yep.
There is nothing to be proud here. This is what mental illness actually looks like. Get help.
I agree. The man would be called the predator for sure.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
not true. I mean,
Yeah, I
if
mean,
a-
this would be the it is
No,
true.
what do you
So,
mean?
for
Like,
instance,
if
Dad,
an
why don't you
adult
think
man,
about this?
if
Here,
an adult
let me-
man
let
is
me
actually
demonstrate it.
sleeping with
Calm down,
consenting
calm
adult
down, one at a
women,
time.
how is he going to be
Calm
considered
down,
a
lady,
predator
calm
and a
down,
sexual
lady.
assault?
Relax, lady. Calm down. We're having a nice
Good
conversation.
sir,
Relax.
exactly. So you should let me
You'll-
also speak,
You'll
right?
be able. Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
we were speaking. So not you. You weren't speaking. Me and her were speaking. So
I'll
No,
get you
I was
in.
actually responding
Here,
to
I'll
someone
get
on
you
the
in.
chat.
Stop
Just
speaking.
let them
so
have a
that
back
we
and forth.
finish
I
our
promise I'll get you in.
conversation.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'm not bothered.
So
if you
in
want
any
to call it
case-
prostitution, that's fine. I call it as an OF creator, but I'm not phased with what you want to call it. You saying prostitution is you're trying to insult me with it. I don't think it's a bad word. I don't care if that's what you want to call me. I'm fine
Okay.
with what I do.
Okay, so I just want you to understand the scope of this. That if a man set himself up in a hotel room,
Yeah.
where he was filming himself sleeping with virgins and getting paid lots and lots of money for it, don't you think society would have a way?
He would be in jail. He would be in jail. That's what will happen. Because if he's making $250,000, like she did from those videos, they could literally sue and get a cut, unless they signed the consent away or NDAs, whatever contract. Hey, you're signing up for this. You're not getting paid. It's out of free will. Unless there any contract signed, They could sue, and if it was a man doing it, he would probably be in jail.
A different outlook on that.
That's not my problem. If society has got an issue with it,
Yeah, I
if
know,
the
but that's
guy-
not my question. I didn't ask you if it was your problem. I asked if you think society would have a way different outlook on
They
it.
probably would, yes, but I also received
Yeah.
a lot of hate. But there's also not. I was 24 at the time when I was filming the content. But there's not a massive age difference. And the biggest point is they're choosing. If the women, 18-year-olds plus, was choosing to sleep with a guy for experience and fun, and that's what they classed as fun, then no, society shouldn't have an issue with it.
Yeah, so essentially, as we dive into this, you understand that society would have a much larger issues with this. They would not be writing articles about that guy. They would not be celebrating him. They would not say how great it is that he made $250,000, pulling the virginity from 30 women, filming it, and then putting it out there so that he could make a bunch of money. Wouldn't they consider him to basically be both a prostitute, gigolo, and pimp at the same time? Wouldn't society basically be very upset with this guy for doing that?
I think, well, society was mad at me myself. Like, I went on Sky News, did multiple interviews on me saying it was disgusting, they didn't approve of it. The MP of Australia came forward, did an interview. But like I said, that's not my problem. The main thing is it's legal, they're consenting. If people have an issue with it, I really couldn't give a shit.
But the difference is you're not in jail, all right? The difference is you're not in jail. If the man did what you did, the girls wouldn't even have to sue. Either their relatives, their parents, the state, the police themselves would just come scoop you up. They wouldn't even wait for the girls to sue the man. They would just come get you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you think that if that led to laws which would reform that so that other women couldn't do that, would you be against those laws?
If the law changes, I'll then change my rules. Until then, no.
Yeah, but that's not my question. My question is, would you be against those laws?
No, but we've chosen it to be 18. I don't see why we need to be treating 18 as a child. It would then
So you wouldn't be against the laws if people wanted to reform this so that no other women could ever do that inside of Australia.
So
you would not
women
oppose that.
can't sleep with 18-year-olds.
No, that's not the law. If you were to reform the law to say that women couldn't cam up, film themselves having sex with virgin men, and then sell it, distribute it for cash, would you oppose that law?
Yeah, I don't see the issue with that.
Okay, so then it is a moral question then. So within the purview of your morality, you're saying that well, actually, I don't know what you're saying. How is this moral from your standpoint?
You tell me one thing.
Are
Why
you just
is it
saying
wrong?
it's because they're consenting? That's it?
So consent is the biggest thing. If they're consenting, they're of legal
Mm-hmm.
age. You tell me what's wrong with that.
Well, let me ask you this: If
You've just completely
if you were
dismissed
to,
the question.
if you
but
were to
go
have,
ahead.
no, I haven't. It's the same problem I would have if you were to sleep with a dead body.
Well, that's different because how would they consent
Why?
and they're dead?
Why? Well, wait a second. They don't need to consent. They're not. There's nothing there, right?
I mean, I don't know what turns you on. That would not turn me on.
That's
nor would
not
it
really the question, though. That's just some type of snarky pivot. So the thing is.
To be honest, Andrew, I understand he's doing this for the podcast. She's stuck in her ways, which is understandable because she makes so much money. I mean, making $250,000 just from having sex with virgin boys or virgin men because they were 18 years old. I mean, nobody's gonna change their stance. Nobody's gonna change what they think about what they did, whether it's wrong or not. They're just gonna stick with it because it makes them so much money. So I don't think he's gonna get anywhere with her. But let's watch some more and see.
It would be the same moral issue that I would have with this. Can you tell me why it would be immoral from that standpoint to sleep with a dead body on camera and then distribute it as long as you consent?
Do you see any dead people here trying to answer your questions? No,
Yeah,
it
it
is
doesn't
very
matter.
different.
Just answer the question. Stop pivoting. and
I'm
answer
not.
the
I'm
question.
telling you, it's very different.
Yeah, I know it's different. It's different in context, but the moral question is still the same.
No, it is
Why
not.
is it that it would actually be problematic from your worldview to sleep with a dead body and then distribute it?
Because
For
they are
money.
not consenting. They are dead.
They don't need to consent. They're not. There's
Well, you
nothing
go
there to
fuck dead
consent
people
to.
then
They're
and
not
post it online
alive.
and see who wants to watch that.
Real Trump
Okay, well, let's
donated
assume for a second that they gave their body to.
$129. 122 college guys. Holy crap. She's been banged more than a taxi cab door. She's been pumped more than the Terminator's shotgun. I bet your thighs don't even know each other. Awful godless degenerate.
I'm incredibly tight, so.
So let's assume for a second that they wrote pre-consent down on their deathbed that they wanted to do this. Why would that be problematic from your worldview, or do you think people should be able to then sleep with a dead body and distribute it?
My content I make, it's enjoyable, it's fun, it gets me wet. Fucking a
This
dead
doesn't answer my
person
question.
would not turn me on, so I would not do that.
Yeah, I know. I'm not asking you what you would or wouldn't do. I'm asking.
Like that.
Yeah, she's gonna keep dodging his questions because at the end of the day, she believes what she did is right. She doesn't care. The boys consented to having sex with her on camera. She got paid, and that's it. I don't care how many examples Andrew tries to bring up. I don't think she's ever gonna listen or care to listen. She makes some money, and that's it.